You are listening to or watching She is a Goal Setter with Wendy Shields. If you are a goal setter with a desire to learn from others, you are in the right place. This lake-loving, photo-taking, success-driven, business-owning mother and grandmother would love to walk you through the wins, the losses, the ups, and the downs. We will focus on the real things that will help you meet and achieve your goals while sharing and cheering on others who are with the quest to do the same. Let's get started.
Hi, this is Wendy Shields with She's a Goal Setter, and today we're going to talk about a question I get asked a lot. I get asked like, Wendy, how do you get so many things done? You got a business, one business, you're starting another business, and you post so much, and how do you get all that done, you know? And first, full disclosure and saying I completely understand when somebody says this because it is true. Part of it is my season of life. My wonderful children are raised. They're all adults out on their own. And at this time in my life, I'm single and I'm not in a hurry to change that because I have so much going on with my business. But because of that, my day is literally my day. So I can do whatever I want. So I realize that a lot of mothers, there's a lot more things you have to work in, or fathers, or, you know what I mean? Or even people that are in a serious relationship or marriage. I mean, you need to make time for your significant other. So I understand that. And I'm not belittling that. The first business I built, probably the biggest business that I built, I did with a 5-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 9-year-old at home and a husband. So I completely get it. But I do want to share with you what I think holds it all together, the glue that holds it together for me. And that is every Friday, I schedule an hour to go over everything I need to do for the upcoming week. And I want to share with you what that includes. And at first you might think, Wendy, I don't have an hour. That's why I'm, I'm frazzled, and that's why I'm not organized. And I understand where you're coming from. And I will tell you, the first time I sit down to do this, it took me 2 hours, and it takes me about 45 minutes a week since then. And then I update it on a light scale. I just major stuff. I update it once a day, which sounds bad, but we're talking like 5 to 10 minutes at the end of the day. So that the next day when I come in, I'm running, I'm up and running and know what the priorities are. So first I want to share with you what I do. So this is my Friday sit down, get ready for next week to be prepared and organized. The first thing I do is get my phone out and I go through my pictures, which may sound odd, but my pictures, a lot of times I take pictures like if I'm somewhere to get an appointment and they don't have an appointment card, I'll take a picture of their appointment book so that I can remember, like, hey, it's that date, write that down. And I don't always have time to do it right then or that day. So like this week I had a few of those, and I had my granddaughters have t-ball, and this grandma was going to make it to a game at least. So I had to look through my schedule and make sure I had a good spot, because we're talking a 3-hour drive on top of, being there, that kind of thing. So those are kind of things I would do. I look through my pictures, see if there's anything. And if I have a picture, I mark it favorites if I know that it's going to have to be something I need to add into my agenda later. So that helps me. The next thing I look through is text. Once in a while, I get text requesting that I do something or an offer or something. And, I'm nowhere near anything to consider that, or I'm too busy on other things, which I don't want to interrupt my agenda for just anything. So those things need added into my schedule if I feel like they're a priority. Even if they're not a priority for that week, I usually add them on my schedule, or at least add them to my to-do list. And that's another thing. One thing I really enjoy is a sauna. I love it. I had Mondays, and that's pretty good. But my own preference was the other, and I'm not a sponsor for them at this time. So this is just my opinion. And I think it was Todoist was the other one I had, maybe. Anydo is what I had. I had an Anydo. And that was all right. Actually, that was, if somebody did not want to spend the money for a sauna, I would definitely say that's still a very good product. I only paid, I think, $35 a year for that, and it was pretty helpful. So that would definitely be a good place to start. So anyway, so I'm recording this stuff in Asana, and I'm recording it on my agenda, all these little things that, I have laying sparsely around that need to be organized. Because we do have meetings, we do have things go on that we just can't stop and do it right now. But at least this gets me started on a good start. And another thing you don't even think about, because I never did at least, is it's like those thoughts, if you don't write it down, they're always in the back of your head. Like, oh yeah, okay, Tuesday I got to do that. Oh, wait. But you don't have to have that if you have it on a agenda that you review every night, because you know what's going on. So it actually cleared up some mind space for me or something, I would say. Okay, so we talked about the pictures, and then we go through the text and see if there's anything in there. Maybe my kids text me and said, hey mom, this is going on, or that's going on, or can we come to visit? Or it's always a yes. So I have to work those things in. And the next thing, and the text, you can put, I believe it is a star on the text, that you can put a star on the text. And that's what I do so that I know when I go, that I can go back, and when I do this weekly planning at the end of the week, or setting my agenda for the next week, or whatever kind of thing you want to call it, I know what to look for. So I go in there and I just look for those things and see if there's anything starred in there. And if there is, I work those things into my agenda. Again, I do the same thing with my actual agenda, my written agenda, because sometimes somebody calls me and I'm sitting at my desk, and I just grab my agenda and write it down. But I have an online agenda, I have this agenda, I have my scrap papers. I need to bring it all together to be organized. And so I take my written agenda and I go through that and see if I have any appointments scheduled, or, sometimes like my dog's vet bill. My dog's vet appointments on there. So not his bill, but his appointments on there. So, things like that I might not have thought of when I was working on my online schedule. The next thing that I do then is I go through my emails and I look for anything that is flagged, because I flag anything that is something like, okay, I don't have to have this done today, but that is definitely something I don't want to forget about, and I want to get that done. So I go through first Google and go through my one business that way, because Google's got one business for me, and it also has some of my time blocking type things on it. So I go through that first, and then after that, then I go to Outlook, because Outlook is what I use for She is a Goal Setter. So I go through that one and I bring it all together actually, I usually do it on my Asana. I do all that on Asana so that I can see it all up there. And then it also has my to-do stuff on there. Because I add my to-do stuff from the emails. If it's not an appointment, I just put it on the list for the to-dos. And then I will time block that in once I have all the actual appointments set. The next thing that I do after going through that is I grab my handy dandy notebook that almost everybody has, that I take that everywhere with me. So there's all kinds of scribbles in here. Some of it's just ideas. Some of it's just somebody called me, asked me to do something. It's just whatever. So I go through that, and I do bend the page every Friday so that I know I don't have to go through how far to go through or whatever. And I add anything in there, or if there's ideas that I came up with and I want to add those things to my to-do list, I add all that stuff on my, in Asana on my to-do list. Then the next thing I do is I grab my goals, my annual goals. And those are pretty much broken down into weekly goals. So they're pretty much broke down into monthly goals. I'm sorry. And the monthly goals, then I break down weekly. But I might say I have 4 or 5 things, or 6 more, whatever, listed that I need to get done that month. I break them down into small, chewable bites and make sure that I achieve at least a minimum of 3 things towards moving myself forward in my business. It is so easy to get caught up in the busy work. It's so easy to, take a bunch of, maybe I do a bunch of podcasts for other people and stuff, and that's great and that's fun and that does move me forward, and I'm so appreciative of it. But I also need to make sure that I'm building my business to get it where I want it to be as part of my goals. So I draw a line. I'm going to finish 3 of these. And a lot of times it's a bigger thing than I can do. I can't just sit down on Saturday and build a website. You know what I mean? So my goals for this week might be, I'm giving you examples because obviously, I already have a website. It's sheisagolsetter.com. You guys all know that. But what I might do, say I didn't have a website and I wanted to build a website. That was my goal. I might only put on there that I'm going to post and ask for recommendations for a website builder. I'm going to maybe buy a membership or whatever with, is it WordPress and Bluehost or whatever. But I mean, three, so that breaks it down to 3 little things I could do this week. Get the recommendations, get those other 2 things in line. Actually, I'm going to tell you this. I would get with that designer first before you buy that stuff in case he doesn't want to use that kind of, I'm just saying. I break it down into really easy, chewable parts that I can handle. And so that's what I would do. And I would schedule those things schedule those things kind of into my schedule a little bit. But I am usually like those, I'm flexible with them, but not flexible enough that they can fall off my weekly schedule. Just flexible enough that if it's Tuesday and I get a call to do something that's important, okay, I don't have to, ask for recommendations today. I could do it Wednesday, as long as I don't let it go through the end of the week. That is another thing that I do that I think helps me a lot stay organized, is I put the bulk of my schedule as much as possible on my Tuesday through Thursday. So I have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday that are pretty booked up. Monday and Friday, they have stuff on it, but what they're really good for is if something comes up on one of those other days, I can move it over to the next day move it over to the day, either the Monday or the Friday. Like if I have kids sick or grandkids sick or who knows what, a family funeral or who knows, I can just move that stuff and it doesn't have to become a huge issue. And what I do in those days anyways is I work on my to-do list, things I have to do, because it's not like I ever don't have things that I need to do. So it's not like I take Monday and Friday off. I just, work from that list. I try not to make actual appointments on those times very often. So that's something I do. Other than the notebook, and I broke down the goals, and I told you how then I split them up into little finite pieces so that I can always be moving forward, even if it's just a little bit. That's pretty much how I set up my week. And then every day, at the end of the day, I take about 5 minutes and I look at, what came in today. Because a lot of times things are time sensitive. You can't just, wait till next Friday so you can put it on your schedule. Some things it's like, okay, I got 3 days to get that done. It's not priority at this minute, but it's priority. And so I kind of keep a little list of those things. I don't like tuck those away. If I know they have to get done right away, I'll put them right here on my notebook. And then at the end of the day, when I look at my agenda for tomorrow, I work them in there. So, or say, okay, I can't do it tomorrow, but I'll do it the following day for sure. And I'll work it on there, and I might even highlight it like, okay, this one's a priority. As well, on every night, I decide what my 3 priorities are for the next day. They could be anything. They could be related to my real estate business. They could be related to She's a Goal Setter, or they could just be shampoo my carpet because my dog walked in with mud and I'm mad and I want it clean. You know what I mean? Whatever is a priority to me, that's what I put on there. But anyways, I hope that helps you. I know that it's something that I suggest to a lot of people that I do coaching with, and it seems to help almost everybody. I would definitely say give it a month, because the first time you do that, it is a lot, because you're kind of getting unorganized. But if you stay on top of it and do it every Friday, it only takes you about 45 minutes. But if you get behind, it's almost like starting over. You're over an hour again. So, and I know that 5 minutes at the end of the day, it just seems like, I can barely get out the door as it is. I'm telling you, those things get better if you do it. So, anyways, I hope that helps, and you guys have a great day. Thanks so much.
Hey guys, just wanted to ask you guys for a favor, to please subscribe to my channel. I used to think that subscribing, like you had to get a subscription or pay for something, but actually subscribing on YouTube is like friending on Facebook, or it's like following on Instagram. So there's no cost to you, but there's a really great benefit to the person that has a channel. There are certain options that they're just aren't available to until they have so many subscribers. So I would definitely consider it an active friendship if you would not mind subscribing. It doesn't bother you. It just kind of sends it does when you open your feed up, you'll see that as some options to watch, but it doesn't pester you or do anything like that. So please subscribe. I'm going to quickly show you how right now. And here we are at the She is a Goal Setter show, and right below it to the right right below it, there's a button, a red button that says subscribe. You just simply push that, and ta-da! We're done? Seriously? All that work and we're done? I guess we'll see you next week. Oh yeah, subscribe, subscribe, subscribe.